What is the most shocking the tables have turned moment you have ever seen or lived through? For me, it happened in a way I never expected, and it still gives me chills when I think about it. Back in high school, I was not popular at all. I was quiet. I was awkward. I kept to myself. I was the kind of kid who sat at the back of the class and tried not to draw attention. But there was always this one group of guys who made it their mission to bother me. They would trip me in the hallway. They would take my lunch and throw it away. They would laugh at me for wearing cheap clothes. They even told me once that I would never get out of my hometown and that I would be stuck living with my parents forever. At the time, I believed them. I felt powerless, and I carried that feeling for years. But life has a way of turning the tables in ways you never expect. After school, I worked non-stop. I took night classes. I learned everything I could and slowly built myself up. I got into construction management and started at the very bottom, hauling tools and materials. I worked long days and long nights, but I stuck with it. And step by step, I rose through the ranks until one day, I was leading entire projects with dozens of workers under me. Eventually, I even started my own contracting business. I went from being the kid nobody respected to the guy signing the paychecks. Years later, I was walking into a coffee shop early one morning before heading to a job site. I was wearing my work boots and carrying blueprints, and I felt good about where I was in life. Then out of nowhere, I heard someone call my name. I turned around, and standing there was one of the guys who used to make my life miserable in school. He looked so different. His hair was messy. His clothes looked old. He had deep bags under his eyes. He was holding a job application in his hands, and I realized he was trying to get hired there. He recognized me instantly, and his face went pale. He gave this awkward laugh and said he could not believe it was really me. Then he asked what I was up to these days. I told him about my company and how I was managing large contracts. His smile dropped, and I could see him processing everything. He admitted things had been tough for him. He had bounced between jobs, never finishing school, never finding anything steady. He said he had no money and no direction. And then he asked me if my company had openings, even for basic labor work. In that moment, everything came rushing back. All the insults, all the times he made me feel worthless, all the years I thought I was never good enough because of people like him. And now here he was, standing in front of me asking for my help. The power dynamic was completely flipped. The kid, who once looked down on me, was now looking up at me, hoping I could give him a chance. I told him to write down his information and that I would see what I could do. I passed it on to our hiring office, but I did not go out of my way to push for him. In the end, he never even showed up to the interview, and that told me everything I needed to know. Some people never change, and some people never put in the effort. Walking out of that shop that morning, I felt something I had never felt before. It was not anger. It was not revenge. It was pure, quiet satisfaction. The tables had turned completely without me lifting a finger. I just kept moving forward while he stayed in the same place. That was the day I realized the best revenge is not payback. The best revenge is living better than anyone ever expected you to.